Hello and welcome to the Comics Atlas. This is the series where we talk about the complete history of comic book characters. Today is Friday for Thor and I hope his adventures continue to rock in Asgard and the universe. Let's jump on the Bifrost and get amused. We start with Thor fixing his hammer at Pittsburgh. Because America, right? Yeah, he flies away to recover the Nernstones, the gems that started all the mess during the trial of the gods. When he finally has them, he drops one to the ground, creating a problem for the future. Moments later, in Asgard, Thor returns the stones to his father, saving his honor and learning Loki is already being punished. But that's not gonna fly for the god of mischief, who quickly tricks and imprisons his guard, Ulrich. Of course, the god of thunder doesn't suspect a thing, and bored, pleads to go back to our planet. Then in New York City, the blonde Asgardian turns into Donald Blake for the first time in a while, only to find his office all messed up and Jane gone. In a panic, he reverts to his heroic form and goes looking for his love, even coming in contact with the new Avengers, who he doesn't trust yet to help him in his mission. With all the noise going around, we cut back to Loki, who is looking for a certain man in space. He shoots him with a ray and sends him on the path to Earth. The man is none other than Crusher Krill, the Absorbing Man, who turned back into solid form after Thor made him fly away as a cloud of helium in issue 115. Expecting to not have another similar ending, Krill goes head to head with the Thunder God again, his absorbing ability matching their fight. He tries everything in his book to defeat his rival. He becomes enormous and absorbs every substance he can, but in the end, only when Thor stops to help some civilians can the Absorbing Man take an upper hand. Jane Foster update, she's trapped in an apartment courtesy of a hooded figure. Thor update, he's not done in his battle with Krill, in fact he's winning. Not a nice view for Loki, who transports his creation to his base in Asgard. Krill wants to go rogue on the second son of Odin, but his magic embarrasses him and makes him remember he's just a pawn. But we have to check on New York for a bit. As Thor saves Jane from her exploding apartment, Harris Hobbs learns his identity and takes some pictures of that. Who is Hobbs, you may ask? He was the reporter who was following Krill's escape last time. So a nobody. He tries to extort the god, who takes him in a mystical trouble through space and time. So they reach a deal. Hobbs will erase his evidence if Thor takes him to Asgard. By the time both men reach the Citadel, there are problems already brewing. Krill has been handling the Asgardian warriors and even reaching Odin himself. The most powerful one throws everything at this abomination, not knowing his absorbing nature. After a series of useless attacks by him and his son, Odin relents to Loki's demands to stop the man. He surrenders his scepter, and now the Absorbing Man and the God of Mischief are fighting to possess its full powers. Yet it's all in Odin's plan, making them weightless and sending them flying on a one-way trip through the cosmos. So Asgard and the universe are saved, and Thor makes Hobbs forget the whole thing on their way back to Earth. A win-win, I guess. In the background, there's this witch doctor who uses the Nernstone left behind to drive commies away, but that's a tale that will be resolved in the future. Put on your Tales of Asgard hats, cause we are going back to see how they deal with the impending Ragnarok. With the blessing of Odin, now the most impressive voyage of all time can begin. The great ship takes to the air, guided by the currents of space, as Volstagg says goodbye to the masses and Hogun the Grim stops murderers from touching Thor. Courage is the thing asked from every man on the trip. Soon enough, they run into trouble in the Sea of Fear. A powerful Maelstrom hits the ship, prompting the exhausted argonauts to voice some murmurs of mutiny against Thor. But the God of Thunder is not impressed by the storm and orders every warrior to row for their life and for the holy mission given to them by their leader. During the chaos, the man trying to do something out of this world is Balder the Brave, scaling to the top of the vessel with a horn at hand. Just in that moment, a full-fledged mutiny starts, courtesy of Loki. It's Fandral the Dashing, Hogun the Grim, and the gigantic Volstagg, who prove their loyalty to Thor as they run through the mutineers. Then the warriors stop at the sound of a giant horn, and the ship enters the death zone of the Pillars of Odgar, where death seems secure at the hands of a dragon. Until it doesn't, thanks to Balder, the melody of his horn making the head of the dragon appear and explode at the sound of his tune. The adventure can continue, still with a grim prediction, when Odin sees a gigantic dark cloud with countless figures of warriors doing endless combat. At least for the Asgardians at home, it sure looks like Ragnarok can't be stopped. Kind of a weird bunch of issues right here. In the one hand we have Loki trying to take over Asgard, which is always a plus, and on the other we have the Absorbing Man, who is an overpowered minus. It's definitely better than his debut story, but still, I don't know, it lacks something. Let me know in the comments if you can spot what. By the way, at this point I really believe Thor's Black persona is just a drag, as well as everything with Jane Foster. But then, this is Marvel, so there's always a blind love interest just to add drama to any situation. The Asgardian adventures have proven strong enough on their own right to carry the narrative. So yeah, I will try to mention all the early nonsense as little as possible, providing it's not essential. Just take Mr. Hobbs for example. Even with the Tales of Asgard, I noticed that the pace has slowed down. I felt like these 4 tales could have been printed in 3 tales without losing content or quality. They're fine, but we don't need to see Loki making trouble at the start and end of every single comic. It may seem like I'm complaining, but it's just solid if unremarkable action. At least it looks better than the communist and witch doctor crap we'll have to see next week. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to leave your like, share and subscribe down below. You can also check my other playlists on heroes such as Spider-Man and Daredevil. This is the Comics Atlas, and I wish you all a nice existence.